Okay. Um, like I said, for me is important to say as much as I need to say before I can't. I don't care if I make 25 videos a day. I don't care if I make 100 videos a day. One thing is for sure is I can never let them live their fantasy. 2 seconds ago somebody just yelled out, "They're gonna impale you, right? They're gonna frame me. I'm gonna be going through this horrible torture." And they're going to do this and that. At this point, I understand what they're trying to say and what they're trying to do. They're trying to torture me to the point where they can forget about the obviousness of what I brought up. It's obvious they do the pedophile type of torture. It's obvious that they torture children. It's obvious they torture women. It's obvious they manipulate the memories. It's obvious they manipulate the mind. It's obvious they do all these disturbing manipulations to break people down. It's obvious that these agencies in charge of this program are filled with pedophiles. Can you imagine if a PSYOP is trying to present themselves as this organization of like strong femme fatale like individual, radical, progressive, then you are here to avenge for what you've done, and this comes up. And it's not a thing you can ignore. You can't ignore the obviousness. You can ignore the level of obviousness that they manipulate people to think this way, but to add the cherry on top of everything, to find out that agencies that are in charge of these things here are filled with pedophiles, and these bottom feeders are obviously psyops. You can see them a model with their psyops. When you have like people like Robin Dawkins say, there's a lot of target individuals who always think that it's somebody else doing this, like this Russian government, the Chinese government, aliens, demonic people. Somebody thought it was like a 14-year-old next door. All he's trying to describe is like they do these things where they create a psyop, where they try to distort reality of what this thing is about. And it's obvious, as he said, this is obviously some big government entity involved in this. And he's talking about the tactics they use, CIA, like repetitive things they say to disorient you. Even the tonality when they speak to me is just like you can hear this. They want to sound gimmicky. They try to sound a certain way, to sound fierce. When you look at them, you're like, oh my gosh, this person, she's ready to just like dive out. She just want to disappear. She wants to be invisible at this moment. But via the V2K, oh man, they speak with this voice and this fierceness that they truly don't have. And they use to counter what you say by saying other things, using scripts. Try to disorient you, try to degrade you, try to annoy you. And so one thing that they like to do is to create a version of reality, right? And it's part of to break you down. My brain, like one said, so somebody said something, she said they colonized my brain. They conquested my brain. It's like, yes, of course. Like, yes, the government conquested my brain. And that's why I think, dream, and react this way. And that's what this technology does. And that's why you work for this entity. That's your job. She says it like as if like she won a couple. She won like a game. No, this is what this technology is about. They acquire brains and manipulate those brains. Civilians have no chance. You are just a contracted trash that just sit there and does this thing. Even if you're not there, it's gonna happen. We are human subjects, and you try to change who we are, and you change who we are, and create a new version of reality. One thing they've done, and this is early on, so they've been playing my memories since day one. Give me sensation stimulation. I remember initially they were saying, you should remember that feeling you felt that when you were a kid. And then they start being a little too much. They start bringing up when I'm actually an adult. And I remember my friend, I'm not going to say his name, but my friend, he had like a little daughter, adorable little girl. She was like 2-3 years old. And I remember, seeing him with his daughter during our the parties and whatever. They gave me the stimulation and sensation they make me have now, and say that it's you when you're a child. But now, when they were doing that, it's you and your child. But you felt it like that. I remember that moment. That's when I was like, oh, okay. That early on, I didn't know they were changing memories too, but I knew something was not right about my memories. Like something's off. No, I don't remember feeling that. When they started thinking making me think this way about my memories, there I was like, that means this is BS. If it's one thing to manipulate my memories when you're a kid, but now you do this when an adult. And I remember I think I made a video about it. That's when I knew it's like, okay, you guys are messing with memories for sure, because I know this is for sure that you manipulate. And as I'm saying that, because Perp's job is to stop you from thinking in the right perspective of things. That's why I record this. Because my brain is not, forget about my brain. I'm not going. My brain is going to go wherever they want. They're going to make me believe that this is a true memory. They're having these dialogues in my brain where they're like, no, but earlier on they weren't manipulate memories. Just now. Can you imagine? That this is an actual dialogue in my brain. They were manipulating my memories from day one. Even my memories when I was a child. That when they start making like me as an adult or young adult or like just barely an adult, that's when I was like, you're messing with me. That's when I was like, okay, something is going complete, is messed up, is being played with. And it's because they do these things where they manipulate your memories. Now they're doing it anytime, whenever they want, they can implant that. And I remember because my friend is involved in this burping, right? He will call me when they will do these things. He would like send me a message. Oh, look what's happening. Call me, make me experience these things. It's nasty stimulation. Now, so my memories now is like gonna go wherever they want it. Should we give them stimulation? Let's put stimulation there. This was already like day one. They were already playing my memories with that, with his little daughter. That's when I knew it's like, okay, you mess with me. And now they're trying to say, you see, back then we weren't manipulating those memories. Yes, you manipulate any memories you could. The thing is, now my brain is so fried and changed that memories of even 3 years ago, 4 years ago, before August 19, 2019, can be changed and feel like it's real. Back then they couldn't do that. So they will take the oldest memory as a adult that they can change into something else, and try to change that, because it's like I'm not gonna, like when I was 20 years old, 19 years old, that's like 10, 11 years ago. I'm not gonna remember that. Like I'm gonna remember that, but it's gonna be easy to manipulate. Now, when you're just 31, I can change that and create a new feeling. So they would try to do that, and that's when I started thinking, my memories are being messed with. And yes, they do this, finding out, like this kid said in the hallways, finding out that they've been doing this manipulation of memories where they can change and implant information in your memories that weren't there. That's why I was like, this is not real. That's when I was like, oh, yo, something's going on. And I was right. It was so falsify memories. And listen to this guy saying that in Lithuania. But he's not the only one. And every time they want you to accept to these false memories, they're going to rape you. We proved it. It's like, you proved that you don't do the pedophilia type of torture, really? You prove that you don't manipulate the mind to think in these pedophilia ways. You prove that you don't manipulate memories. You're delusional. Of course, people involved in this know that they do these things. This information I'm bringing up is information that's easily accessible. And they try to be like, you're going to be crying, you're going to be dying, you're going to be cut up in pieces, they're going to skewer you, they're going to impale you, they're going to cut you, using like this intimidation of what's going to happen to me to make me subscribe to this. It's a false memory of how I perceive my friend's little girl. You're adding the new stimulation that I'm experiencing today. I mean, when I mean today, since August 19, 2019, this memory manipulation started really early on. When they was manipulating my memories as a child, that's when they start doing this with his child. Because he was like, okay, 20 years, we can manipulate. That's when I was like, something's being played with. This is false. I remember even there, it's like, no, something, that's not how I felt. But you make me feel this way. They're full of, they're trash. Because you can't be like, oh, that's how you felt when you were a kid. That sounds childlike. It's retarded. Of course you don't. I'm a grown man. So let's try to make him think like that when he was an adult. Oh, yeah, his friend's daughter. It's a little girl. We do this pedophilia thing, especially with little girls. Let's him feel this way. Typical little girls thing that they do to me. Put the stimulation there. Obvious. Typical memory manipulation. But to all my target individuals, there's nothing new here. Like I said, when I speak, I let others speak.
And fabricate the processes in your psyche. From what I have experienced, they are able to impose any information on the brain of a person, presumably by some kind of waves, which in the mind take the form of voices, thoughts and images and imagination. In addition to this kind of implanting information that they need, they manipulate the psyche so that the information is written into your memory. Then by stimulating the certain regions in the brain they can retrieve this information and present it as your own memory. This is the conclusion that can be made judging by the influence they have been making on me with their psychotronic weapons, for example artificial thoughts, imagination, and mental torture.